Good afternoon. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm great. It's been a day.
It's been a day. Welcome to our second episode of the Monmouth Moms podcast. My name is Kate Santangelo. I'm here at Bellworks in Homedale, New Jersey with Nikki Ashkar of Mavs Top Buns. She's also a local Monmouth County mom and really incredible Instagram following. Really excited to have you on the podcast today. Tell us a little bit about where you're from and how many kids you have and where you live.
Sure. So I'm originally from Long Island.
Okay.
I am a Jersey girl born, but not raised.
Okay.
So Mike, actually, my husband, he grew up in Middletown. So I found myself in Middletown because of him, and I fell in love with it. I felt like it was like as close to my hometown as possible, and love the beaches, love the parks. Very exciting place to raise my kids, who Maverick is 3.5.
Okay.
And Marley is 1.5. Constantly tired with them. That's just the name of the game, but it's also like the biggest blessing, you know what I mean, to see them together, because they are very close in age.
Yeah.
And they're best friends, and I feel like our business has kind of made us even closer as a family, because we're all just like, we are the only people who know this chaos.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, that's where I'm from, Long Island.
So what part of Long Island? I know nothing about Long Island.
Smithtown. We're like all the way North Shore.
Okay. Okay. I know North Shore, but I've never been there. I've been to the Hamptons once as a child, so my
Okay.
mom claims.
Yeah.
No recollection.
Hamptons is a little bit farther than Smithtown, but
So-
even farther, like it still takes so long to get there.
So did you go a lot growing up?
To the Hamptons,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
We never did, actually. We used to go to Jones Beach, Smith's
Oh,
Point,
yeah.
Robert Moses.
Okay. My dad brought me to Jones Beach because they have like a big concert.
Yes.
Area,
Oh my
right?
gosh, the venue is incredible.
Oh,
The
really?
best place to see a concert. It's right on the water. You're completely surrounded, and that was like, that was my haunt growing up.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. So is Smithtown near the beach?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were North Shore, though, so it wasn't like what
I
you
see.
would think of like the ocean. It was Long Island Sound. So we
Oh.
would travel to the South Shore to go to the beach.
Okay.
The North Shore is not like a great beach to hang out at. It's very like flat and not much to do.
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel like I've been to Long Island very few times, but maybe I should just go just to educate myself because I have
You
no
should, but the
idea
traffic
where-
is-
I know, that's why I don't go, because everyone's like, the traffic. I'm
It's
like,
impossible.
I hate waiting. We
Yeah.
talked about this earlier.
I know. I'm the same. I said I'm the same. I'm very impatient.
Yeah.
I don't like sitting in traffic. And then you don't realize it when you're on Long Island how bad the traffic is. And then you come back and you're like, whoa, this is awful.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it just like kind of 2-lane situation? Like a lot
Yeah,
of
and
the highways
everybody
are 2
just
lanes?
drives really. Mike says they drive very erratically. I mean, I kind of drive like that too because I grew up there. But he said they're very aggressive. But then I'm like, you get back in New Jersey and you're driving aggressively, so I don't understand the difference. He thinks they're like angry aggressive, and he thinks New Jerseyans are more like getting to where you have to go and streamlined.
So I think it's a stereotype. I think my husband always says how New Yorkers are known to be like terrible drivers, but I didn't know. I thought it was like more of an aggressive type driving, but then also some people say that it's more of like they're like slower and stuff because they're not used to driving. I think it's like more Metro New York, right, where they're like not
Yes.
used to, so they're like don't know where they're going, and then once they get into New Jersey and the U-turns and everything, and they're like, what the hell is this?
Totally. Oh my gosh, that was the biggest thing to get used to.
Right.
Was those U-turns. I was like, why can't I just get in the left lane and make a left? I don't understand. Like, what's the big? But
Oh
Mike's
my
like, no,
gosh.
you have to take the little jug handle around, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Now I have to go a mile down to.
Oh my gosh! So
Yeah.
you met you met your husband at a job after college.
Yes, after
Okay.
college, we were both. I was 22 and Mike was 23. It was his first job, or his first real job out of college, and it was my second. I got a job right out of college. I was interning in the city, an editorial intern for Muscle and Fitness magazine, Muscle and Fitness Hers, Flex magazine. Like I interviewed Jillian Michaels.
Wow.
I interviewed Flex Lewis, Mr. Olympia, like a whole bunch of things. That was like my kind of because I graduated with a degree in English and journalism from Stony Brook. So I kind of graduated into that, and then I found myself without a job because journalism was like a dying field, and they were like, we can't afford to keep you on full time, but you can still be an intern. And I was like, well, I need money, so I got to go.
Right.
Yeah, like it's weird how my path has gone because I started out in like this fitness industry and this fitness life.
And what drew you to the fitness aspect? You said you I'm telling things we talked about earlier, but you said you ran track in high school. So
I ran track in high school. Yeah, I was super like I started to read these magazines of like literally the male magazines, Muscle and Fitness, and I was like fascinated by these competitions where you could like push yourself to the limit.
Okay.
So I did a fitness competition. I was writing for this magazine, so it was like a dream come true. I got that internship because I called up the editor of Muscle and Fitness, the executive editor, and I found his number somehow. As being a journalist, you have to like figure out dig for things, and I found his number somewhere, and I was like, hey, like I really want to intern at your magazine. Is there any chance? It was like a cold call. And I got a call back from him, and he was like, hey, Nikki, this is Sean Perry, and I wanted to know if like you'd be interested. I'm interested in giving you a shot. Like this guy like used to build tables. Like and somebody gave him a shot, and then he ended up being like the editor of Muscle and Fitness.
So isn't it funny? Like
it's crazy.
Yeah, when you think about like things that you want to, people, someone that I follow that I respect, because I guess a celebrity always says that most people are accessible, right? But like you have to do the digging, and like it's not even a characteristic of like being interested in journalism, but maybe just like the person that that you are, right? Like the
100%.
goal-oriented person that you are willing to go the extra mile and figure out like that's what you want to do, so you got to make it happen, right?
Yeah, I would push and push and push growing up. Like if I wasn't getting an answer from someone, like you said, being impatient, and not even impatient, but like very determined.
Yes,
I would push and push and push
yeah.
and be like, okay, fine, I'll give you a shot. And then they gave me a shot, and it was great. So I interned there, got into the fitness industry. I was doing fitness competitions, and then I decided I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be on like the journalism side. Mm-hmm. So I was going to these competitions, watching these happen, and I remember being on the other side of it, like at these cheat meals, right? Like all the girls, when they were done, would like stuff their faces with like Oreos and cookies and all this kind of stuff. And it was funny because when you're the person doing that, you're like, this is exactly like, this is great. I'm like one of many. Uh-huh. And then when you're on the journalism side or journalist side, you're looking at it and you're like, this is so messed up.
This is really
this is like a binge
healthy.
Eating disorder.
Yeah.
This is not healthy. So
so it was like an actual like cheat meal that was like
after the competition,
like
they
it was
would like
an organized
thing. Yes, an organized thing. All these girls in the back. It's crazy because when you're in it, you're like, what's my cheat meal going to be after these fitness competitions? And like, so a lot of people, when they come to me and they say, I want this to be my cheat meal, I'm like, don't call it that. Uh-huh. Don't call my buns a cheat, because they're not. They are, part of a lifestyle. Like part of, you should be able to have these buns in any sort of scenario. You should be able to have a salad tomorrow and have a bun today, or have a salad with your bun or whatever. Like, it's all about balance. So yeah. It's a triggering thing for me when a lot of people ask about the calories in the buns, because I've seen the other side of it. I've seen what people can do and what that restriction brings. Right. So anyway, so after that, I met Mike in advertising, and I spotted him from across the room, and I was like, I'm going to marry that guy 100%. Like, and like the determination, right? Yeah. So I had it in my mind, I manifested it. We met in like a class. He was, we were taking some sort of weird test. It was like a really hard high science test, and we were in pharmaceutical advertising, so we were brand new. We had no idea what the terminology was. And
they put you into like really grueling training, right? To understand the products and all of that.
And that's why it's so easy to get a job when you're in it, because it's like it's so limited to the amount, like it's a niche industry. You have to learn so much. You have to be in it and know all the terminologies and all that kind of stuff. So
it's easy to get the job, but it's probably not easy to keep it.
It's easy to keep it, but it's not easy to get a promotion. So a lot of people move from agency to agency to get promoted, because it's like not easy to move up. Okay. So anyway, we met at this class, and he said some line from Good Burger, like one random line. He goes, I know some of these words. And I was the only person in the whole class that laughed. So afterwards, and I was like, this guy is cute, and he's like smart, and he's funny.
Because he knows the Good Burger line.
Yeah. And he's funny, and we like connected immediately afterwards. And from then on, we were like best friends, but I was dating another guy at the time. So I couldn't really, it was actually a really good thing because we only became friends and we just kept growing that friendship before like we ever dated.
Okay.
And then eventually we started dating and got married. So we met in 2015, got married in 2018, had Maverick 2019. I found out on my honeymoon that I was pregnant with Maverick.
Right.
And then Marley was 2021.
Aww.
So, I mean, yeah, we've always worked together, which is why I think our dynamic works so well right now with the Buns.
Right.
Because he is very much like an executor, and I'm very much like a managerial type of person. Like, I don't like to do the executing. I'd rather be like, here, get this, and done. And he's like, aye, Captain.
Right.
You know?
So tell us, let's backtrack a little bit. Tell us, you get married, and then in the midst of having children, really, you, whose recipe was it?
My grandmother's.
Okay, your grandmother's.
Yeah, on my paternal side, my dad's side.
And did you love to cook, like, growing up? Did you like to bake?
Yes. I loved it so much. My grandmother on my dad's side also gave me a recipe for rainbow cookies, which I made every Christmas. Also Italian cheesecake. Yeah. So these are like things that I have been. It was all very weird and circular that she passed away and left me this one random recipe that I never found until Christmas of when Maverick was born, his first Christmas.
Okay.
And we were like, okay, what are we going to make for Christmas for this kid? Like, I want it to be special. We found the recipe, made the buns, and my family was like, these buns are like the best things we've ever had. Like, you need to sell them. And my mom is always like that type of person. Sell it. You know, she's like,
that's funny.
You know, make a business out of it. So it took us a while before one day during the pandemic, we were like, you know, like, would people be interested in this? So there was a curbside pickup group, Monmouth County, on Facebook. And I had posted in it, and I was like, would anybody be interested in this? Like, my husband and I make cinnamon buns. I posted a picture of, like, the kids, too, and, like, just, like, making them and stuff. And the response was insane.
And this was during COVID, really?
This was during COVID.
Okay.
We were offering, like, a pickup. It was so janky at the time. Like, my mother-in-law made a paper sign. Like, she literally colored in, like, Mav stop buns, and we taped it to, like, my Honda. Like, it was so crazy.
So it's been a year and a half? 2 years?
Yeah, it's been 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been a lot longer than that.
It does. Oh, yeah, you're telling me.
And I'm just like an innocent bystander. I'm just watching you grow on Instagram. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, we've learned, like, a lot of stuff along the way, though, which is good. And we've been able to take it really slowly. But a lot of people didn't realize, like, we've been working three jobs. You know, I've had the kids all day. Mike would be working 9 to 5. I would be working at my freelance job at night after 5:30, trying to get dinner on the table, and then on the weekends we would do buns.
Right. So you started selling them a little bit, right? And and you started the Instagram at the same time, I'd assume, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of started sharing your experience building this business for really outside of your house or out of your house with the world, and it took on pretty quickly. Yeah. So you went to the initial event, right? And those sold out. And then what happened next?
So basically we had done like a hybrid. We were doing wholesale for a while. We were selling in like a bunch of different stores, but we've realized that we missed the connection with the customers that we always have. We call them the bun cult, which like, I don't even know where that came from. I'm pretty sure, I have to look back in my stories, but I'm pretty sure I started doing that, and then people like caught on and started calling themselves part of this cult because of the people lining up outside and stuff. But we would do pre-orders out of a U-Haul. We would park in like the Whole Foods parking lot, and people thought, and they used to call it like literally like a deal, like my bun dealer, because they'd be like, I'm going to Whole Foods after to get vegetables, and I'm like picking up the buns in the parking lot like all secretly.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, we did that for a while. We were out of that parking lot for a very long time. The people in the gas station would come over in Middletown and be like, what's going on over here? Like,
wow.
Yeah. So, and people would start lining up, and we were like, after a while, this is like getting to someone's gonna come here and be like, what are you guys doing?
Right.
So
the township will get involved.
Yeah, something would happen. So we found another bakery. I'm not at liberty to say exactly. We were like subleasing, and it just got to the point where we were growing too fast, and we were taking up too much time and asking for too much time, and they were kind of like, all right, you know, on to the next. You guys got to move out of here. And we're like, what do we do?
Okay.
We don't have any, like, people think we bake out of our house, and there's no way. It would take months to get through all the buns.
You need a commercial kitchen.
Yeah.
Right.
So we used that, and we found another bakery who was willing to give us a shot. This is like, you know, present day.
So there are a lot of bakeries in the area that don't use all of their space, like all of their ovens, or how does that work?
It's more like ours. It's more like, okay.
Like they have extra
or
kitchen
like,
space?
Or like we need a certain, like
Or
we're
time?
willing to come in at 5 or 4. Like Mike was getting to that kitchen at 3 a.m. and like baking until
But isn't
we
that
left.
when most bakeries like come in?
Yeah, this one was specifically not, like they would
see.
come in later on in the afternoon. So
Okay.
it worked out really well for us for a while,
okay.
but we didn't have the space that we needed.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just growing and just growing past, you know.
Growing out of the
out of the space.
Out of the space. Okay, got it.
Mhm. So
Because then all storage, right, and everything. I would have no idea how to do any of this.
yeah, I mean, we learned along the way. And
Right.
it was funny because in the very beginning, Mike wouldn't even roll out more than one batch of buns at a time. And I was like,
what's
dude.
a batch? Like how many?
A batch is like just one batch of buns. So that's 8 buns.
Okay.
So he was like, I don't know how to do this. Like, I don't know how to roll out 16 buns at a time. That's now he's rolling out 64 buns at a time.
So did this come naturally to him? Like, did he
Oh,
have
yeah.
a background, like, not a background, but did he enjoy cooking and being in the kitchen, like growing up?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Okay.
Mike actually had this thing in college. They used to call him Ash Cakes.
Okay.
Because he used to make pancakes for all the guys in college. Like, he loved, like, creating and making things with his hands. He was really good. I was like, Ash Cakes is not the name, but okay.
So you both help make them, or he, like...
We both do. We
both
tag
do.
team it. We tag team the dough. I do the icing, and he rolls out. And he has the manpower, the muscle power to roll it
Right,
out. And I'm
right.
not interested in that. You know,
Right.
he can
That'd
handle
be me.
that.
I have no upper body strength at
No,
all.
well, it's like, I'm just like, he's so good with his hands. He's very meticulous. His dad was a surgeon, so I think he gets it from his dad, like,
Oh.
really, because even his family does, like, pumpkin carving competitions,
Okay.
and this guy, like, shaves the pumpkin to look like, and it's art.
Right.
So that's where he gets it from.
Because they all have to have the same, you know, like shape, right? They
Yeah.
all have to have the same. They
Yeah,
can't
because
just
they
look
have
like
to cook correctly. They have to cook completely evenly.
And not only that, but like the presentation, right?
Yes.
Like it has to have the same aesthetic, I guess.
Yes, exactly. And
That's
a lot
when
of
I bake,
bakeries.
It looks terrible.
Well, it's funny because a lot of bakeries, to make them uniform, they put them in like a tin. So they like would stuff the dough into a tin to make everything look exactly. But Mike, we didn't have that, and we wanted to bake big buns. So we he's just amazing at creating them in a uniform way.
Okay. Very cool. So you started making one flavor, right? And then I think, I think it's been at least a year that I've been following you. You introduce different flavors, I guess, based on seasonality, right?
Yep.
And what's requested. So you've worked with all kinds of local businesses, to collaborate and spread the word about these incredible buns. I know you've had pop-ups at Eastmont Orchards,
Yep.
at the Baker's Grove, which we love. Where else? I'm missing a couple.
Well, we've collabed with the Caramel Shop.
Okay.
At one point, which that was another thing. We collabed with Porcini and Highlands.
Okay, I've never been there. I'd like to check that out.
It's really nice. It's a very quaint little space, and it's another kind of like family-owned business.
Beautiful.
And oh gosh, Nicholas Creamery.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
That's
we're
right.
actually. I mean, we have a collab with them this Saturday.
it's exciting. I
Yeah.
think I may have seen that. Love Nicholas.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. We spend way too much time at Barrel and Roost. Not that that's a bad thing. But
Oh my gosh,
it's
yeah,
so
their
good.
ice cream is so.
So
And
good.
it's great working with them too. They're like really nice people. And Jody, who runs their social media, she was the one who kind of like gave me a lot of pointers on how to increase our following. She's like, you need to do a giveaway, you need to do this and that.
Yeah.
And so when we started doing that and like incorporating that, our following started to increase. So it was, it's all these little tidbits that people are willing to offer along the way that really helped us a lot.
That's interesting. Yeah, because
Yeah.
your following has grown exponentially. I think over the last 6 months, you're at over 18,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah, that's
And-
very exciting.
Yeah, that's great. So when you're not working in the weeds of making these buns every week, what you're doing with the kids in Monmouth County?
We love going to the parks.
Yeah.
That's like our biggest thing. And it's funny because we're not big like playground people. We're more like in the woods kind of people. So we love Huber Woods. We love Thompson Park, like to walk on the trail around there. Yeah, and Homedale is great, Homedale Park. We love the beaches too. I take them to Seven Presidents though because I love that after the playground. It's so nice. And then they can go to the beach and collect shells and everything.
That's such a great, especially that age. Like I'm a big fan of the Monmouth County Park System, and my daughter and my son was little too. But we've been going for years. It's free, right? And it just like breaks up the day, and you can go to the beach and then put them on the playground, and just it's like a nice day. There's so much that they offer too, because not all the park systems are like that in New Jersey. We're actually very lucky.
Yes.
Because my dad lives in South Jersey, and their park system is not even remotely similar. So we're lucky that it's such a great resource that we're able to to enjoy.
Yeah, we're from before we moved here. We lived in Clifton.
Okay.
So it was nothing like here.
Yeah.
Nothing. And the community down here is so strong too. Like the amount of people I've met that are so supportive of like women-owned businesses as well is just it's crazy. Like I met my photographer friend Lindsay. She's awesome. Erin from Raising Sunshine.
Oh, yes. I know Erin, yeah.
Yes. And Emily from Sticks and Sprouts. Like, all these, like, little things. Everyone's very supportive of each other, so.
Sticks and Sprouts was at our last event for Monmouth Moms. And
she's wonderful.
It was incredible, like, what, how she's created this incredible program and these classes that she offers. And the kids they make such a mess, but it's, like, a great, it's a great thing to have. And just, like, the sensory, aspect of it, too, is great for the kids. There's so many things now that, like, I wish, like my daughter will be 8 next month and my son is 18. And there's just so many things that are like available for little ones that like I wish that was around when, when my kids were little. So very cool.
Absolutely.
All the creative business ideas that women have.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, we've wanted to quit this so many times, but it's almost like taken on a life of its own.
Yes.
That it's like we owe it to the business, which is like our third kid. We owe it to the business.
It is. It's like having a baby, They say, like, especially in the restaurant and hospitality industry, it's a labor of love for sure.
Yes.
So you have now grown to where you are at this point, and every time you do a pop-up, I know, like, people, what time do they actually get online to wait for these buns?
So the Baker's Grove the last time, they told us that they showed up at, like, 5:30. There was somebody online
on a
at
Sunday.
On Saturday.
It was Saturday. It's even worse.
Saturday or Sunday. I know, right? Like right after work, the day after work. Yeah, it's so funny the lengths that people will go to try these buns because it's honestly we consider all of our customers friends.
Right.
Like I answer every single person's DM. And I think that's one of the biggest things is that connection with your audience.
Right. Because
they feel like they know me. They feel like they owe it to us to come out. And the product also is good. And they're appreciative of all the work we put into them. They're not easy things to make. Cinnamon buns are not like doing a cookie, right? You can't really make them at home unless you're very experienced. So I think that's another thing is that people view it as like a commodity, a different kind of a product that they couldn't just do at home.
Right. So you have the little ones.
Yep.
And what's that been like? Just having them along through the ride of growing this business that's really in its infancy. I mean, I think that there's a lot ahead for both of you.
I hope so. So Maverick, we used to take him to the kitchen, the very first kitchen at Taste and Technique in Fairhaven, and we used to put him up on the toddler tower and give him his breakfast, and he would watch Mike like ice the buns. And so he was like 20 months or something at that time, and he's 3.5 now. So like he has been here the whole time, and he always says, "These are my buns. They're my," because it's Mav's top bun. So he goes, "They're my buns."
And then
Marley,
I guess you were pregnant then too, right? Or no?
I was very newly pregnant. And then when I had Marley, I was just like, we can't do this anymore because I would smell those cinnamon buns and get violently ill, which is like the craziest thing because all these pregnant women are like, I'm craving a cinnamon bun so badly, and I couldn't smell them. I would get so sick, and I was sick for so long in my pregnancy.
Were you like, did you have like a severe...
It wasn't that severe. Okay. It was more just like triggered. It was honestly triggered by the buns. Like I couldn't smell them.
Interesting.
It was crazy. So after I had her though, it was like 4 months postpartum and I was like, I'm feeling good. Like let's do this again.
Okay.
And this little potato would be sitting on me in the carrier while I was like, making icing, and she just would fall asleep to the whir of the icing machine, like the mixer. And it was, they've been here the whole time throughout the whole thing. As they're getting to be older, it's getting a little bit harder because Maverick now, like, wants to help with everything.
Yeah.
So I kind of, like, I distract them enough where they're not as, pushy. But, yeah, it gets harder when they're toddlers because now they're wanting to help.
And they're running around, and it's challenging. So,
yeah.
So how do you feel about running the business? Like, it's a family-owned business. Obviously, they're with you all the time. Do you feel guilty that, like, you're, I know I have a lot of guilt running Monmouth Moms a lot of the time, even though I'm present. Physically.
Yeah.
A lot of the time I'm not present because
Yeah.
I'm trying to, obviously grow and do all kinds of different things. And I have, like, a lot of guilt over that, of, like, being present but not,
Yeah.
So do you find that that's challenging sometimes?
Yes. The biggest thing that I feel like my mind is not present with is social media. And sometimes I really do have to put my phone and, like, say, okay, I am going to take a few hours to be with the kids and be totally present with them.
Right.
And then I can pick up my phone again. But a lot of times when you run a small business, you feel like you have to answer people immediately. And Mike is always telling me, like, it's okay. They can wait. They can wait 10 minutes. They can wait an hour. Like, it'll be fine.
Right.
But a lot of times, when I'm very, like, diligent about it, I'm trying to, like, answer everyone. I'm trying to make sure everything's correct. And, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure because you have to be your own driver.
Exactly. It's you, no one is going to do it for you. So, and no one's going to be as passionate about your business as you. So
yeah, 100%.
It's a lot for sure.
Yeah.
So, what are the newest revelations within Mavs Top Buns? I know that you mentioned that your husband is full time, right? He's full time.
As of last week, he quit his job. It was scary leap. The health insurance thing. I know you were talking to Tara about it last week with the health insurance,
right,
and that's our biggest thing. But we were like, okay, if we sell this many buns, like, how much do we need to, like, you had to, like, crunch those numbers. And it helps that Mike has, like, an account background, so he's able to, like, put up spreadsheets. And I'm not that kind of person, but he does that. And
he's like you ever see the meme from It's Always Sunny where he's, like, looking at the things?
Yep, that's him. The frantic, like, if we quit our job, this is what's gonna happen.
Like crazy eye.
Yes, and he is more of, like, the cautious person, which is good because I am the most, like, impulsive human you'll ever. But when you have kids, you can't be that impulsive. So I'm really trying to make sure, like, okay, we had to take a leap of faith in some way, but also, will it make sense? Also, could we sell this many? And, like, we had to figure out how many we need to sell. But it's been cool because we've been selling out, for the past 2 weeks on drops in minutes. So we were like, okay, we are breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief. We'll see what happens, in the coming weeks. But we're hoping that the demand stays high and the word spreads a little bit more, because now we can focus on exactly what we want to do and kind of focus on the kids and focus on the business and not focusing on his job or, like, what his manager saying and meetings, like, working in between all that stuff. We make our own schedule, which has been really nice, because if I need time or something, like, I could always say, Mike, do this, and then we can do stuff later, or we can do stuff at this time. And
well, that's, what they say, when you jump, you fly. And it's so true. And it's also just about the time that you have, right? It opened up an entire week now of those hours that you don't have to abide by. And now that can be filled with all kinds of other things and other, opportunities and other things that maybe you wouldn't have thought of, or, maybe we should do it this way. And it's so much fun to, like, to see it evolve. So I'm excited for both of you.
Thank you.
It's very cool. So what are your plans for the fall?
So we actually just signed beginnings of a lease. So we're not sure, we're not 100% if it's going to take off, it's going to work, but we are hoping and hopeful that it will. And we'll see if it works, and we'll see if it sticks. And we're excited and hoping to get into a new space by the end of the year.
Okay.
Maybe.
Very cool.
Maybe by the beginning of the year. So that's, like, the most exciting thing we've been working on. And that's just another thing, because it's a whole nother process on top of, like, what we're doing, on top of the drops.
Permits, insurance, all of it, right?
Oh, yeah. It's
Township
new uncharted
requirements.
territory. Yeah. And it's stuff that we have to...
Parking, I'm sure, is going to be an issue for you
Well,
guys.
this new space has a lot of parking.
Oh, good.
It has a lot of parking. So, we're hoping that
I think that would be like the biggest thing
which
I would
is
think
the
of.
biggest thing, exactly. Yes. And making sure that there's room for everyone, and we're gonna hopefully do like some first come first serve, because I know some people it's hard, not everybody's good at clicking on the website, so right. I think that will be pretty good for us to do a hybrid of that, and once again, make our hours, make our own, because we kind of forged our own path of the pre-orders, and people were asking, when is this, and we're kind of just like, you have to focus on what your goal for your business is, and kind of ignore everything else. Once it starts to become a problem, then of course, like, you have to evolve, but I think that we kind of did what worked for our family, and people respected that and came to us after a while,
I think we were talking about that a little earlier, like really staying true to who you are and what's good for you and your family, and offering that to the community. Have you found that this community's been really, like, I mean, I know you mentioned that just the, the bun cult, the following has been just an integral part of the growth of your business, but have you found that most people have been very supportive?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think the best part about being kind of transparent on social media is that people who have been following us for a while kind of know the deal, and they kind of know that if you call me out, I'm going to like talk about it on social media, and I'm going to say, oh, this person said something to me, and like they clearly don't know how it's done. Like, you kind of just need to accept the fact that like it's a cinnamon bun. We'll get over it.
Yeah, life is short. Stop it. Like,
life will go on. And, like, to be honest, I'm the one making the bun. So if you're going to come at me and be really rude,
don't buy them.
Then don't buy them. Or, I'm not going to, we control who we sell to. So
isn't that funny, though, people will, talk about or make comments on, and it's just shocking sometimes.
Yeah, but it's also a testament to how badly they want them. Because if you're willing to go out and, like, really, like, verbally assault someone, then, like, clearly this is something you're desperate for. And I feel you. I understand.
It's a good problem to have, I guess. Right?
It's a good problem to have. And so many people, the bun cult, they say will come up and back me up and be like, who do I need to talk to? What's going on? Who's messing with you? And so that's been a really great thing, because everybody knows how they're so supportive of us and our family. And come on, like, you gotta look at these kids' faces, and you're gonna call out us on social media. You see how hard we're working. You see how badly we want to, like, grow.
Right.
So, nobody's really going to give me a problem.
What's been the most challenging part so far?
Honestly, I feel like just all the back end stuff, all of the social media answering, because
like
that
the administrative.
Administrative, it could honestly, Mike has it. I always tell him you have it good, because you're literally you're not dealing with anyone. You're doing your baking and you're enjoying that, and then I have to deal with, like, the backlash of people. I have to deal with the drops, people saying that their receipts are wrong, or like something is going on, and
they order that through a family
meal.
How does that work?
So basically, make an account on Family Meal, and the link in my bio and Instagram goes live at 9 p.m. I also post it on Facebook. It goes live at 9 p.m. on Thursdays and on Sundays. For like the following week. So at that moment, when it goes live, you're clicking and you're getting in and you're signing in and you're putting your stuff in. And a lot of people are annoyed because the buns don't hold in your cart when you're going. So you have to check out really fast. And you know what? That's just like the way it is, because so many people. We actually had someone sabotage us one time. I know who they were. It was like another local business, and they added 9 trays to their cart, and they didn't check out. And so they had to add there was like a feature where they disappeared from the cart, because like then another person could buy them. But
wait, how long does it stay in the cart for?
It doesn't. It doesn't. You put it in, and then you put all your checkout information in, all your payment and stuff. And then if you're not fast enough, people are like, I'm checking out, I can't. And we're like, sorry, because there have been instances where people add to cart and then they just never check out. So then now these buns are like sold out, but they're not. They're in someone else's cart.
So I guess there's like time limits that you can have items in a cart for. Like, I guess, is that how that works? I know nothing.
Yeah. So honestly, not on Family Meal. Not on Family Meal. There's no time limit. You just like kind of gotta be the fastest you can to get to the buns. And I think they're working on a feature for that moving forward.
To be. Because like with clothes and stuff, like sometimes I'll go back and it's like not in my cart anymore. Sometimes it is, and then it'll be sold out.
Yeah, I can understand how stressful it is. I mean, it's stressful for me too, because I'm watching this happen and people are like, what's going on?
Oh my gosh.
So I think that's the most challenging thing is the administrative part of it, and also just like figuring out, now we're trying to get a bookkeeper, we're trying to like get all our back end, inventory in order, trying to find the best pricing for everything.
So it's just the two of you still. You don't have anyone working for you.
We have people helping us on bake days and on rollout days. So
Okay.
they do like the baking, and then when Mike goes at night to bake, they like help us ice and box everything. So we have like 4 or 5 employees helping us now.
Oh, that's nice. So they're part-time.
Yeah, they're part-time.
That's great.
Most of them have been with us since the very beginning.
Oh.
Yeah, and older moms, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, moms are great for roles like that.
They totally are, and I think that we're they're getting like $20 an hour. We're not like skimping on that at all, and like making sure that everybody's getting paid really fairly. And
free buns.
Yep, they get buns, and it's great. I mean, the hours suck. The hours sometimes are not great. Sometimes they were there at 5 a.m. and then sometimes at night they're there for a while now because we're trying to work around the other baker's schedule.
Interesting.
So we're baking at night.
Okay, and they stay fresh for how long?
Up to 4 days.
Okay.
And then they actually freeze really well.
Yeah, I saw that.
Somebody sent me a message that they froze them after 6 months, and they put it in the microwave, and it came out like it was just baked.
Oh.
So it's really good, research for us because, that tells a lot about like our capabilities to ship.
Yeah, and
eventually.
Preservatives and anything that you would need to, I don't know. Right,
yeah,
in the future, like if you were going, when you roll out your long-term plan, you're going to be shipping to all kinds of places, right?
Yeah, I can't wait. That's we've been getting requests from places in Africa, like
you said New Zealand,
Ireland, Uganda. There's all these places that have reached out to us, all these customers from all these different places.
Wow.
And it's an honor that they even know of us. Like Colorado, this one guy from Boston, it's like, you have to, I'm waiting, I'm salivating. And one girl actually took a plane from Ohio to come to one of our pop-ups.
That is dedication. Wow.
And she wrote us like a whole card and it said like, thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this, and it was just beautiful. And she's not the only person. Someone came down from Jersey City last week, and people will travel for things that they believe in and that they support, which I think is a total honor.
Well, I think you've been incredibly candid, and open about the growth of of your business on Instagram, and it's really given some insight into like the very not ugly, but the very not pretty parts of building a business. It's not easy, right?
Yeah.
It's very grueling. It's stressful. It's scary. It's you have to take a big risk. You're always worrying about the next step, but at the same time, it's also, I'm sure at this point, even when you're into it a couple of years, that it's very gratifying too. So.
Yeah, absolutely. We recently someone who wanted to be more a part of the company. We had a conversation, and he had said something that was really kind of changed my mind about how things needed to be run and how we needed to quit our jobs and just go for it. He was saying that we have decision paralysis. And we were like, you're right. Like, we didn't know what to do. And I think Mike and I talked about, if we didn't have kids, would we be going for this right now? And we were like, yeah, we would be. And we were like, so why are we not going for it now? We can't have decision paralysis. We got to just go and not look back. And, I know you talked to Tara about this, but it's the same thing. Like, you can always go back to your corporate job. Yes. There will always be a spot for you. Why the gap in your resume? I was building a business. Okay, that's great.
And then even so, right? What if, God forbid, it didn't work out? Not only the skills that you have so far, but the things that you've acquired along the way, and how you could apply that to consulting or even social media.
Yep.
You have an advertising background, stuff like that. So there's a lot that you're evolving in ways that you probably don't even I wouldn't even think about right now. So
thank you. Yeah, I hope so, because I feel like I'm constantly exhausted.
I know. It's a lot. It's a lot. So when you're not building the business and you and Mike get to go out, I know you're like me. We like to frequent the local restaurants. It's my favorite pastime to check out anything new and find out what's going on in the food scene. What is your What are some of your favorite places to head to?
Yeah, I mean, we love every restaurant in Monmouth County. I could go by category.
Okay.
So, love Hartley Burger. Love the Baker's
Oh,
Grove for
yeah.
a croissant and, you know, coffee. I love their Fair Mountain coffee. Chinese, House of Chong, Temple Gourmet. Love that.
Oh, Temple.
Temple
Where's
Gourmet.
House of Chong?
House of Chong is in like the Middletown Plaza by Talercio's.
Oh,
We
okay.
love it there. And that is
I've
like,
never been there.
yeah, it's really good.
Is that like more like authentic Chinese? Is it like a restaurant? Or
Yeah,
is
it's
it-
a restaurant
oh, it's a
and
restaurant.
it's takeout too, but it's really good.
Cool.
Love Mi Lupita in Red Bank. I think it's Mi Lupita's with an S.
Pizzas. I don't know that one either.
Yeah,
Where's
that's
that?
like authentic birria tacos, the best birria tacos you'll ever have. My friend
Ooh.
Greta actually introduced me to that place,
Okay.
and she had her 40th birthday party in the back. It's really cool. They made it like they strung up lights and they had a guitar player. It was really, really nice.
Where in Red Bank?
Oh, I don't know streets. By the train station.
Okay, so it's like over by like B2 maybe? And like the Galleria, kind of?
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of.
I think
yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's by
Yeah.
like Sickles Red Bank.
Yeah.
So the other,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, the Galleria. Yeah, over there.
See, I don't know
Yeah.
anything. I use my GPS for everything.
Yeah. I mean, I do too, but I feel like, I don't know. I've known Red Bank a little bit better than,
That's
but
good.
there's some areas in Monmouth County I'm like, I have no idea where I am.
Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, yeah, I'm not good with streets or roads or anything like that. But what else? Oh gosh, Semolina is a great date night
I love
place.
Semolina.
That I could say that is probably the best meal I've had in Monmouth County, like in general.
Did you have the caramel budino? Is that like up your alley?
Yes. We always get dessert every time we're there.
Oh my gosh, that is heaven on earth to me. That
Yep.
is like the best thing. And I never order pork chop. I'm not a pork
I don't
chop
either,
orderer.
and their
you
pork
know?
chop is-
It's unbelievable.
Yep.
That's what I get when I'm there. I haven't been there in a while. I gotta head there.
Yeah,
Head
and
there.
it's just, it reminds me of, we used to go when we lived in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. There's this place called DOC. It's like a wine bar, very old school Italian. Actually, it's Sardinian, so maybe not old school Italian, but it reminds me of that. It's very quaint and like, you know, a great place for a date night. Because
Yeah.
I don't want to like be in like loud music. I just
Yeah.
want to relax and be able to talk to someone.
It's very quaint. It's intimate, right? And,
intimate.
And it's truly farm to table. Like they really, do an
Their
incredible
tomato,
job. Yeah.
everything tomato, like everything produce there is top notch,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, they do incredible things with, just that you wouldn't even think about, like with vegetables, and just their dishes are.
And the combinations, like.
And now they sell some of their pastas locally. I think it's
Yes,
Sickles,
I've got
I
to
wanna
head
say,
there.
and- yeah.
And they just opened up a pasta shop, their own.
Yes, I saw
Yeah,
that.
so I have to go there and
that's
get some
great.
stuff, which that's another thing, like when you have a small business and you're talking about like meals for your family, like a couple weeks ago when we had just started this, we were doing a lot of takeout and I was like, oh, I feel like we need to fuel ourselves better.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like so that we can get ourselves through the week, and the kids too. So we've been doing a lot of like pre-made meals, but like the sides I would make. So like, semolina is great. Like they're doing like meatballs today. So you'd get the meatballs and you'd have the sauce like that you just make, and then you'd make like
So
a vegetable. And Sickles, the same thing. They do a lot of like stuff you can just pop in the oven. You know what I mean? But it's like healthy stuff.
Yes.
So
I love that. Grab and go. We
Yeah.
did a whole thing on that with and earlier this fall with Mom's just grab and go
Blonde
options
shallot,
because
same
it's
kind of
blonde
thing.
shallot, yeah,
Mhm.
because it's very tricky. Like this week for me is crazy. I have a lot of evening calls and I have a meeting tomorrow night. So like I don't have time to cook. And some weeks I can cook like all week long and
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
But then you feel so guilty when you're just spending, we ordered pizza the other night and it was like $60
Yep.
for 2 pies. And I was
Absolutely.
like, what is happening? So you really have to get a bit more like creative when,
Mm-hmm.
when you're feeding the family during the week. Do you like to cook, right?
I
Like,
love to
you
cook.
love to cook.
Yeah, Mike's more of a baker. I'm more of a chef. Like I love to experiment with different flavors, and he jokes around like I use my heart and soul and I don't measure anything.
That's
and
so cool.
It's kind of like a release from baking, because baking is very precise. So like when you're cooking, you're just kind of like more
like a
garlic, more cheese, like whatever it is.
Right.
And I made this really good braised short rib the other night with like wasabi mashed potatoes and frizzled onions.
Wow.
And yeah, it was really good.
Awesome.
That was one of my things.
We're gonna have to come over to your house for dinner.
You're invited. Everyone bring the bun cult.
I'll have to finally try a bun. I feel bad I haven't had one yet.
I know I should have brought a whole thing for you, but honestly, I'm just like
I want to. I told you earlier, I'm terrible at waiting for anything. After past like 20 minutes in the restaurant, I'm like, I'm not waiting.
yeah, I don't blame you. We try
But I
for the
will.
pre-orders. I will say that we're very fast when you pre-order, because I have your name, I look it up, you get the buns. And
Got
then
it.
it's like, you know, however many people are behind you, but it's very fast.
All right. I'll get my ass in gear and get some buns for the holidays.
No,
this
you don't have to.
season.
Just you're in. Just let me know anytime you want them.
So, what would you say to a mom, or not even a mom, a woman out there right now that is considering starting her own business or maybe making the leap, like, you know, you and Mike did just recently, which is scary, right? To understand what it's going to take to pay for the health insurance, which I'm sure is exorbitantly more now than it was when you were paying in a corporate environment. And you know, you're kind of just going through this, right? And you're almost like on the other side of now this new venture for both of you. So what would you say to someone that's, you know, that's thinking about it?
I would say that as long as you have a product that you believe in and you have the desire and the knowledge that you're going to have to work your ass off to get there,
right,
then you can do it. I mean, you can do anything. Anybody can do anything in this life. It's really just a matter of how hard are you willing to work.
Yeah.
And, you know, with us, we worked really hard for, you know, with our jobs for years at this until we were like, okay, these people are knocking down our doors.
Yeah.
We can't stop any, you know, we can't do this. But I know that they tell you on Shark Tank that, like, unless you quit your job, you're not serious enough because you don't believe in it enough then. So I think that that's really what it is. And don't do anything crazy, but, you know.
Right, exactly.
But you could always go back to corporate. You could always go back.
Yeah. That's funny that you said that. I was on the podcast, is a local podcaster, Ryan Robbins, last spring, and we were talking about just that, like, you really can accomplish anything, but I think, you know, for me anyway, it took me a long time to really, like, fully understand that. But then once you do grasp that concept, it's like the sky is the limit, you know, and that, like, anything is possible. You just have to really work for it. That's like obviously the biggest piece that, you know,
Absolutely.
I think people misunderstand when they see people finding success, right? Is that it takes a lot of work.
And I will say too, with Mike's corporate job, they made it really easy to not quit.
Okay.
Like, they were giving him unlimited PTO. They were giving him, you know, lots of breaks. Like, he was able to kind of be around during the day with the kids. And it was so comfortable that it was almost like they talk about the frog in the pot of water, that, like, as you turn up the heat, the frog doesn't realize that it's, like, being boiled alive. But, like, that's really what it is. Like, you're getting so comfortable in your corporate job that you're not realizing, like, what else is out there. The sky's the limit.
Right.
So go for it.
Go for it. Love it. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited for you. I'm excited to see what happens the rest of 2022, which is rapidly flying along.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
This week in Monmouth County, we have lots of events coming up. We have pop-up events at Oak Hill Farms. There's lots of fall festivities happening at Eastmont Orchards. Go apple picking. They have hay rides this season. Pick up some jams. They have fresh produce. They have pumpkins. There are all kinds of fun things happening. Food trucks, and also photo opportunities, which is a new ad this year. So very cool. Grace and I were over there last week taking pictures and stuff, and saw the people on the hay ride, so it looked like a lot of fun. And then we also have the Monmouth Moms Halloween Spooktacular happening here at Bellworks on Sunday, October 30th. So come and join us for all kinds of fall activities. We have over 75 vendors, a whole kid zone, lots of local food, and a costume contest, so lots of Halloween fun. I'm excited for that. And last but not least, also check out Samaha's Farm in Aberdeen. You ever been to Samaha's?
No, I haven't.
There's a cute little farm stand. It's actually it's about 2 minutes away from my house, and they have really cute activities for the kids. So they have their fall festival each weekend, I believe, in October. So,
oh, fun. We'll be there.
Check it out. So, well, enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thank you.